Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. I am Tanya or TitaniumBuilt, whichever you want to call me. I don't prefer one over the other. So we are going to be talking about a new case this evening. If you guys haven't heard of this one, it's a big one. If you haven't joined our channel membership yet and you'd like to do that, it's available in the chat. Also, I'm sure Nightbot will be in any time to give us the trigger warnings and everything that I put in little Nightbot to do now. So hopefully Nightbot will do his job. So thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys all showing up. I'm a little later than normal, but there's just more and more stuff. There's just more and more stuff that's coming out on this case that we're going to talk about tonight. So I was trying to just do like the first week, and then I just started going down the rabbit hole. So that's where we're at. We're gonna touch on a little bit of everything that's going on in this case. Really, this happened oh yeah, legendary. This is right in your neck of the woods, Oklahoma. Never been there. Never been to Oklahoma. I don't even think I've ever had a case that we've done out of Oklahoma yet. I think it's my first one. This one is almost the largest death toll, like amount of deaths, but I did 8 deaths in one night. That was a whole family. This one is 7, so very close, but 6 of them were shot. One of them was a bullet to a self-inflicted wound. So I'm trying to keep my words pretty good in the beginning of the live. So I'll go ahead and get started with this though. And hopefully I won't say too many bad words in the beginning because, you know, YouTube likes to flag you when you do that. So I'm going to try to keep it at a minimum. If you're like, what is she saying? Why is she saying it like that? Then I can give you the better, the better version of it, the more graphic version of the words. But this case started out as an endangered alert for Ivy Webster. She was 14. And Brittany Brewer, 16. The teens were last seen May 1st around 1:30 a.m. in Henrietta, Oklahoma. Investigators said a man named Jesse McFadden was suspected in the girls' disappearance. The girls were at Jesse's for a sleepover with his stepdaughter over that previous weekend. So, you're fork, you're right. Hello, just Avery. I like your picture. And Summer, you changed your picture back, and so did. Oh wait, never mind, Tracy. Yours is the same. I thought you switched your picture back too. I was like, oh my gosh, people are switching their pictures back and forth. Hi, Catherine. Oh, look at you. And then we got all kinds of people in the chat. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm so glad you guys are all here. Hey, Casey. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are all here. If you guys don't mind, hitting that thumbs up button, it really does help the channel, and it'll get this video out for more people to come in and join us. So. If you haven't heard about this case, this is out of Henrietta, I just made that up. Henrietta, Oklahoma. Like I was saying, there was 2 girls named Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer who were last seen with this guy, with this guy's daughter and with this gentleman, or we're not going to call him that, this guy. His name was Jesse McFadden. He does have a criminal history, including convictions of the R word and larceny in Pittsburgh County back in 2004. He also is on the register list, if you know what I mean. He is on the register. He is a registered, Jesse McFadden was due in court Monday, the day that everyone was found, for solicitation of a minor and possessing CP while in custody. So he was already in the slammer, in jail, got a phone somehow. I don't know how they'd be getting phones. I don't even want to know how they get. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Got a phone and was able to get internet access or whatever they had, to pay for the phone, to download child, very sick. When investigators got to the property to look for the girls, that's when they found the 7 people altogether. The victims were officially identified as Ivy Webster, who was 14, Brittany Brewer, who was 16, Riley Allen, who was 17, Tiffany Guess, 13, Michael Mayo, 15, and then Holly McFadden, who is Holly Guess McFadden, who is 35, who is Jesse's wife, and then Jesse McFadden, who was 39, who turned the gun on himself. So cat's out of the bag kind of there. He, shot them all and then turned the gun on himself is what they're saying as of right now. Investigators are still, investigating. Well, with the free government internet, though, it's just like that would be really crappy internet. I don't know if you could download that much stuff with that. I'm wondering. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to have to see what kind of phone you need. I'm not going to download anything like that, but you know what I mean. Download like something on the internet. Get like a cheap phone or something. Because I'm wondering how they're doing that. But all of these crimes were committed with a firearm, and investigators traced that 9mm gun that was used to Holly McFadden. So, and it was purchased in January 2022. So basically you have Holly and Jesse, who are married. You have it's her 3 children, his 3 stepchildren, and then 2 kids that came over for a slumber party are all annihilated. They're all gone. I have so many videos to show you guys too, so you won't have to hear me talk too much longer. But we'll get into the videos also. Let me add these guys here and let me turn my camera on. There we go. And don't mind me, tonight is a no makeup night. I sat outside all day today. I was going to do a live, but then I just sat outside and I just kind of like laid there. It was nice. So I figured I would do that before coming on and getting really angry. Because it feels like yesterday we were in a really sad mood, with Letitia, being not with Letitia getting sentenced or anything, but, just the ending, kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Just like the press conference and like the victims' impact statements. It was a sad day. It was a rough day. So now I'm just on the pissed off train now. So I'm like, I'm ready. Oh, thank you, Eddie. You're so sweet. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. Who said that? Did I miss something in the chat? Michelle, and he got out early. Yeah, I guess he said, so I heard he served 85% or something of his sentence, which I don't care if you should serve it all. When it comes to a case like that, when it comes to, convictions like that. So, hey, Trippy Dead. So this is a picture of all of the victims and the perpetrator. He is pictured in the orange, of course. A little history about Jesse McFadden, and we'll go like deeper into this as we, get more into this tragic case. But he had been scheduled to appear in court on Monday on charges, like I said, of CP and soliciting sexual conduct / communication with a minor. So just stay with me because this case gets worse and worse and worse. So he was supposed to go to court and he was probably going to get sent back to jail. I mean, point blank period. Because if he's already out because on our charges and he's doing this while he's already in custody, usually judges don't really like that too much. So I will show you some pictures. My nose is going crazy tonight, guys. It's like itching. Sorry. I don't know why it was so itchy. What's that mean? Someone's talking about me? Or is that when your ear itches or something? Yeah, she is very pretty, Sarah. You're right. And you know how, oh man, I hate to say it, but it's not hard for girls to get caught up with men like this character. Like, if he thinks like, he is what he is. Because most men that come out of jail, they're sweet talkers. They're smooth talkers. They're smooth criminals. They're ready to find themselves a woman to shack up with a house. Oh, but she's got 3 kids. I don't know. I heard that they were only married for like a year or so. I didn't hear that they were married for very long. So let's go back. So it started really with this. Oklahoma Highway Patrol sent out an at-risk / missing person for Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer. They find them outside of this guy's house. This is the home. Charming property. Oh, yeah, for sure. Nuki, I was reading your messages, sorry. Oh, yeah, for sure. If you want, you could always email me. I'll give you my email, too. This is a safe space. It really is. So, yeah, I just started on this, like, last night and this morning. And, well, all day that's all I've been doing, and I feel like my head's going to explode. I've seen so many articles that I went ahead and went back to just, like, I went back and just started using most of News Nations just for the fact that so it wouldn't be like all over the place, with dates and stuff. Because I was like really, really getting into this. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's just more and there's more and there's more and there's more. So let's get into it. So this is the charming home that they lived at there. Now, I don't know about y'all, but, and I don't know how everyone feels about things in life, but I don't have these things behind my bed or my children's bed. So this is what was found behind the girls' bed. And I'm not talking about the wife and the husband. I'm talking about the kids. Yep, Michelle, she sure did. She told him, yeah, I saw that video, and that's heartbreaking. I saw that. I didn't even post that one. I didn't even put that one to play tonight. He was on News Nation, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart. Now, Holly's mom came out and said that, he got some actor to play the girl that he supposedly R-word. And she came out and she said that he didn't do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that story. I really don't care about that story. I care about what's behind the damn bed. That tells me all I need to know. I'm sorry, but that does. Like, that tells me all I need to know. I make my bed every single day. Even if I wouldn't make it every day, I would at least wash my sheets once a week. Even, let's say, once a month. Hello? I don't know where the sheets are, but you know what I mean. You would think you would know that was there. You would know. You would know. Then they, and then this is just stuff that's just hanging around the house. Like, this is just out in the open. Now, that could just be like pot or whatever. No biggie to me. But, when you have kids that are, how old are these? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You know what I mean? You have a spot where you put your stuff if you're going to have stuff, like if you're going to smoke pot or whatever. You know what I mean? Like smoking outside. It was a gun, Mystic. I think so too, Sarah Q. Yep. I think everyone in the house knew. Yeah, they had to have. I mean, like, it's so disgusting. I don't know what I would do if I walked into someone's home and I saw this shit for myself. Like, if I was a teenager, surely if I was a teenager, I'm just saying me, I would have probably been cool and kept my cool, do you know what I mean, around everybody. But as soon as I got to a phone, if I didn't have a cell phone, you know what I mean? Because back then I don't think I would have had a cell phone. But, you know, as soon as I got to a spot where I could get to a phone, I would have called my parents immediately to come get me. My dad would have been my first call. What's the stuff on the floor by the bed? That was with the shackles and stuff. Let me see. These are like shackles, and then back here it looks like just like some cloth or something. I can go in a little bit, but not much. And then, yeah, they're just chains. DIY. You know? Hi, Evie. I like that name. That's pretty. This is horrific. I'd be calling my mom too, Sarah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just know me. I know. Huh. I would have never said anything probably in front of somebody because I'm still that kind of person. Like, I don't like to cause controversies or start shit. But if I saw that, I don't know. That, I don't, my face probably would say it all. It's terrifying. They also had one in the floor, and I didn't get a picture of that, but it'll be on one of the videos that we're watching. And then this one, like, okay, a syringe. The first time I saw a syringe that was used for drugs, I'm gonna tell you, I was walking to work. I lived in a real small town, and it was like 3,000 people, and all like 2,000 out of the 3,000 people are addicted to meth in this like little town. And I was walking to work one day. And okay, so I was in my 20s. I was 27, and I saw a syringe on the ground, and I called my mama at 27. I called my mama and I said, what do I do? Do I call the police? My mom was like, just don't touch it. Just walk away from it. Just don't touch it. You know, like, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I knew not to touch it, but you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm calling my mom. And I was 27. So I couldn't even imagine being these girls 14 and 16. I don't know. Yeah. Well, so he did write a letter saying to the victim that was going into court that he was going to do something and that this was going to be all of her fault. So I don't know if that's why he picked that weekend. It has to be, is what I'm thinking, is because these girls have been over there to spend the night on multiple occasions. Like, they've been there on multiple occasions. And the parents of these girls, they just didn't know this was going on inside the house. Everybody that has kids, I don't care if they're 17, 18, 30. If they're going to their friends, walk in their friend's house with them. Walk in there. Walk in there. It's fine. It's fine. If the parents don't think that that's fine, then that's the problem. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just like with, okay, let's just say, and I don't want to like merge the two cases at all, but just like Idaho 4. We heard from Kaylee's father. When Maddie and Kaylee became best of friends, Maddie's mom and dad were inside the house every single time they dropped Maddie off. They said even after Maddie and Kaylee had went to different countries together, every time they still went in and dropped her off inside of the home. And I think that's a good idea. You don't just drop them off and think, bye, mom, bye, dad, see you later. Because you never know. You may not see them later. Take the 5 minutes it takes, and I know it sucks to have to say hi to someone that you barely know and go into someone's house and listen to me on my soapbox over here with no kids preaching it. But your kids will thank you. Coming from a kid. Hi, Dreamcatcher. Yeah, how's everybody doing from yesterday's verdict too? I didn't even ask you guys about that. How y'all were doing. So the next picture I'm going to show you is, you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit. It'll be on video later, but just imagine what you think it is what this is. And they just had this thing laying around. And if you're thinking this is an adult toy, then you're correcto. And it was just laying there, just hanging out. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that you would allow these things to be out as a even as a person. Like, this speaks volumes. This isn't a grounding mechanism. You know? I remember one time, speaking of grounding mechanisms, my brother, he nailed the window shut. Because my nephew, or I think it was my nephew, he kept trying to like get out or something. I don't remember. But my brother's like, I'm just going to nail you in. But he would never have done this, you know? It is disgusting. It's terrible. And then it gets even worse. Because you think that, you know, you have the police to go to, and you don't. You don't. They released the property back over to the landlord just like this. I mean, we wouldn't have got these pictures this quick. The OSBI, which they are like the FBI of, like the FBI kind of, I think, version for Oklahoma. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. They are on the case now. They stepped in after they got wind of all of the pictures coming out, the video that I'll show you here momentarily here in a little bit, of the parents going into this home, this house of horrors, and finding all of this stuff after their children are dead. I can't imagine, y'all. There's just some things in life I can't imagine. And just when you think, you know, we just put away Letitia for stabbing, burning, assaulting Gannon, shooting Gannon, and now we got five, I consider really 6 dead victims. It's crazy. It's just like, don't say it's the worst one, because we'll get you. It's kind of like when you say that, it can't get any worse, you know what I mean? But, you know, I never will say that. I never say that. But if you guys are just now joining us, we are talking about a new case that's out of Oklahoma. If you guys don't mind, smash that like button. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We do talk true crime here. We're trying to reach 10,000 Titans. Let me get my banner on there tonight so I can welcome you guys at the bottom. And I didn't even notice, is Nightbot even in here tonight? Yeah, he's in here, okay. Because I haven't even noticed if he's in here doing his job or not. That's a beast, yeah. That's like a horse. So this took place, actually, you know what, it is so sad, this took place on the 1st. So 9 days ago. So crazy. I didn't think that it had been that long. And so I started looking into it and I was like, oh my, because I really got caught up in Letitia's trial there at the end. Well, I mean the whole time, but you know what I mean? Like, we were really, I was like, where's my notes? But yeah. But we're going to start at the beginning kind of and work our way to the point that we are now, because there's just been stuff coming out like left and right. Literally, you blink and there's something else that's coming out that's like just more disgusting than the last. So if I do miss anything, let me know and I'll go back over it. I mean, this won't be our only live on this at all, even though Jesse, you know, that did this is not here. He's dead. He's gone. He shot himself. There's just too much to uncover, and there's just too much to learn. And there most likely is more people out there. They have a lake. They have a huge property. I don't think you could see from that house that I showed you. No, I'll have to find a better picture to show you. But the property is pretty vast, it looks like, so. Yeah, yeah, it was just, it was sex toy. Yeah. And if you're gonna have like those, that's fine. Like, I mean, that's your deal. Like, I mean, that's what people are allowed to do. But if you have kids, you just don't let it like hang out in the open like that. Like, I think it was found in the kitchen, I want to say. Like, I don't quote me on that, but I want to say that, and I'm like, are we cooking with it? Oh, I heard about those people dumped in the river too. Sits on 5 acres. Thanks, Nuki. I knew it looked pretty big, pretty big. So yeah, that's pretty. 5 acres is, it's pretty big. My parents only had like an acre. So, and I have like no land. I live in an apartment, so I have like no land over here. Let's see. So yeah, the police down there, maybe they just haven't seen a case this big. I don't know, but there's no excuse for family members, especially parents, to walk into a house like this on any. It's never okay. There's never going to be a time that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play this here for you. I'm going to play like the breaking news one. Let me put it up here. And then was there only one press conference? Let me know if anyone knows of a different one that I'm not finding. But I only found the one press conference. It was like 23 minutes long. He goes up there for maybe 3 minutes and talks, and then he says, I'm just going to open it up for questions. Like, I'm not even wasting our time with that guy. I'm just going to give us the little short 3-minute Banfield clip of it. In the youngest child's room with the restraints. Oh my God, Nuki. Oh my Lord. I wasn't sure where it was found. I thought I heard kitchen, but I wasn't sure. That's why I was like, don't quote me. Oh my Lord. Why do I put my stuff back there? That's, wow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Teresa, they were going to just release it. The guy was going to go and clean it up and rent it out again. Are we sure there? Like, are we positive? So this is the, I can't say Yokamoliki. How do we say this? I tried to put it in earlier and sound it out for me, and it didn't sound right. Okmoji? That's how we're going. Okmoji. Oh, this is going to be a hard one. Okay, Nuki, that's the one I think I saw. Maybe. Was that the one from the other day? Okay, I think I have a shorter version of it. I was going to put my headphones in and try to listen to the questions so I can write them down, because you can't hear them through the regular speakers at all. But I'll go ahead and play this one, and then we will talk about this one as well.
Are we streaming?
And then this is, I want to let you know, this is the sheriff of Ucmolji. I'm going to say that wrong. Ucmolji County. And this is when this was on May 1st. This came out.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we good?
Yep.
You're not.
You're blocking my shot, sorry.
Okay. All right. What time was it? Jesus. Sorry, Lee.
So we're letting you know we're live
Yeah.
on 6 right now.
We're live.
Approximately at 1500 hours, we arrived out here with a search warrant. We've searched the property and we've located 7 bodies that we are in the process of trying to get the ME to be able to confirm identities of these individuals that were found. We're not going to discuss any of the facts of the case or anything like that, but we are no longer looking. We believe to have found everything that we were seeking this morning. Our hearts go out to the families and friends, schoolmates, and everyone else, and it's just a tragedy in Okmulgee County.
Can you tell us where they were found on the property?
We're not going to disclose anything, but, you know, we've been tramping around, so.
And Okmulgee County Sheriff Rice, when you say you found everything that you're looking for, are you insinuating that we're no longer looking for these juveniles?
We believe that we have found the persons. We just are waiting for confirmation.
So all the missing people.
Yes.
Does that include McFadden? Does that include McFadden?
Yes. But again, we cannot confirm anybody until the ME's office comes back and confirms all of them. So,
Sheriff, do you have any idea what led to this?
we have no idea at this time. We're still conducting an investigation. We're still following up the leads, still doing everything that we can just in case there's something that is left open. We don't want to miss anything, so everybody's still actively going. I want to thank the Violent Crime Task Force, the DA's office, Sheriff's Department, Henrietta PD, Okmulgee PD, OSBI, and all the other entities that come out here and assisting with this. So again, it's a tragic day in Okmulgee County again, and we just ask that you pray for the families.
At this point, are these deaths considered foul play?
Any unattended death is foul play. So again, we don't want to speculate. We're just going to wait until we find out what all the facts are and everybody's identified.
Is there any wounds on these bodies that we can...
We can't go into any of that at this time. OSBI is going to be a spokesperson after this point, after this notification that I'm doing now, and then he will reach out to the media.
Would you consider this a homicide investigation?
Yes, any unattended death is a homicide.
Sheriff, was the brake finding this vehicle over here
No,
across
sir.
the road?
No, sir.
Or was it, you got a search warrant to go in here?
Yes.
Was that when had you discovered anything before this? You got a search warrant and went over there and looked?
We had to wait on the search warrant to go and look.
So right there it says, I mean, he says it right there that he went in there and looked. He looked in that house.
You know, we follow the statutes around here, so just covering our basis and going in proper like we're supposed to.
Have any weapons been recovered?
We're not going to discuss any of the details. We're just sticking to, you know, what we have right now.
Have
What
the
was your
families been
knowledge of-
notified?
Sir?
Have the families been notified?
Yes, or we wouldn't be doing the notification to y'all. But the families have been notified.
Sheriff, can you talk about who else was involved? When initially we were looking for 4 to 5 people. Were there other people reported missing?
Nobody was reported missing. There were other family members related to the one family.
Can you say how many of these 7 are juveniles?
No, I can't at this time.
There's no ongoing threat to the public. Everything's contained right here.
That is correct, sir. We believe that there's no other threat to the community, and we will notify if we believe that anything else has changed that.
Sheriff, can you talk about the impact this has obviously on you as a community member, on your agency, on your deputies?
The families first, our community second. You know, my guys third, and I'm the last person that needs to be worried about. So,
Sheriff, you've been sheriff here in Okmulgee County for decades. I mean, has this county ever seen anything like this?
not this magnitude, no. We've had our share of troubles and woes, but this one's pretty bad. So.
Did you know about Jesse McFadden prior to any involvement today at this property?
Not going to get into any details. I mean, there's facts out there. You can back those up 100% if you need to. We'll share more in the future, but there was nothing that alarmed us. I mean, so.
How will your office and the community, come together for something like this? Talk about the days ahead, any type of...
Our guys won't be done for a week. There's just still a lot to do. So our days are surrounded with typing and warrants and following through, and, they won't get to think about things for a while.
Is there any idea as to how long these bodies have been on the property?
No. They haven't been missing for long, eh? So, anyway, I want to thank y'all very much for coming out. I appreciate y'all respecting the family And please, you know, still be respectful. They have a lot of grieving. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Well, he didn't want to be there. I'm going to go back to the beginning of that because actually you could tell he asked the guy what time it is, but before he says that, he says, "You're not ready," or something along those lines. I don't know if you guys caught that, but like they were, because he was like ready, and I think they all said yeah, and maybe somebody was fumbling the phone or, you know, or whatever he was doing. Maybe he was just setting his camera on the tripod, but sheriff there was like, "You're not ready." I guess it just runs in that 36,000 population. That's pretty, I mean, it's pretty big. It's bigger than I thought. That means that majority of those people had to, like, you know, people had to vote him in to be sheriff. I'm not getting that part. I'm not getting that at all. I want to, oh, is this the same one?
We're going to take you over to Okmulgee County where the sheriff is expected to release new
I just want to see what he says, like in the beginning.
information about the 2 girls that were found. Let's go there now.
Are we streaming?
Okay, we good? Yep. You're not.
You're blocking my shot, sorry.
Okay.
Look at that face. He is terrible. I'm just calling it like I see. I haven't seen anybody like else. I've seen a couple of the other creators covering this, and I haven't watched them yet because I wanted to get all this in my own brain. So, wow. Yeah, he is. He's not very nice. Look, he's not a very nice, seemingly nice guy. Okmulgee. I said it right the last time. Now I can't say it again. This is like the shorter version of the press conference that they did. They had like a 25-minute press conference. A lot of it was questions, and I couldn't hear when the volume is regular. So I'm going to try to use my iPod or AirPods and then put them, like, write the questions down and get them answered for us. So we can kind of go back and see what they were really saying because we won't be able to hear that. So I will just do the shorter version. Okmulgee. Man, we're going to be, you know me and sayings. It's bad. Okay, so let's see. I haven't watched this one either, so hopefully gives us a little, I think it's going to give us all 3 minutes of what he said, so.
The injuries include Ivy Webster suffered 1 gunshot wound to the head. Brittany Brewer suffered 1 gunshot wound to the head. Riley Allen suffered 1 gunshot wound to the head. Tiffany Guess suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Michael Mayo suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Holly McFadden suffered 3 gunshot wounds to the head, and Jesse McFadden appears to have shot himself in the head.
Investigators say McFadden used a 9mm handgun that was bought by his wife in January of 2022. The chief also described where the bodies were found.
From the McFadden residence, which is probably 100 yards off the road, approximately a quarter mile south and east of the residence, there is a creek. And the creek is within a tree line, but just barely. Ivy was found on the west side of that creek, approximately 100 to 150 yards away. Brittany was found. Approximately another 100 to 150 yards away, Riley was found, and they were both on the east side of the creek. Then the other 4 decedents were all found together approximately another quarter mile more east than south, but southeast of where the 3 girls were found, in a heavily wooded area.
This is a map that we have created based on the chief's description. He also said at least some of the bodies may have been moved or staged. The investigators found Holly's phone at the scene, that's the mom, and then found a second phone in pieces deep in the woods. They didn't find Jesse's phone, and the chief said that it is possible that the broken phone was his phone. Chief wouldn't speculate about motive or whether the murders were planned. His phone.
Okay, so I wanted to look at this map. Because I looked at this and because I saw this the other day when I was I was starting to think about putting together a live for this. I wasn't sure if we were going to do one or not. And then just more and more stuff started coming out and it was like, oh my gosh, we have to. But his house is in the upper left-hand corner of my screen. I think it's the same for you guys. If that's 5 acres, how far are they away from the house? This one says 150 yards. Okay, bodies of Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer and Riley Allen found within 150 yards of one another. So the oldest, the 3 oldest. And then Holly, Michael, 15, Holly, who's 35, Tiffany, who's 13, and Jesse were found. It's like a quarter mile. Wow. Over a quarter mile from the house. Thanks, guys. Yeah, his wife's amongst the dead. Yeah. I was just wondering if they were, I mean, I'm just in my head. I'm just thinking, were they running? Or now that I'm thinking about it more, though, it almost looks like he maybe did the first 3 and then took his wife and then the 2 youngest and did like a murder-suicide. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, so it's one killer, yeah, and then it's just a lot. That's a lot to take in.
Chief wouldn't speculate about motive or whether the murders were planned, but we might have some insight into that. On Monday, McFadden was set to stand trial for child porn charges. Back in 2017, that happened while he was still in prison. He was in prison for raping a 15-year-old at knife point. On Sunday, the day before the bodies were discovered, McFadden reached out to the victim in his pending case. She's now 21 years old and sent these messages via Facebook. Quote, I did exactly what I promised I would do when I got out. I got a marketing job, making great money, and was being advanced there. Been there 2 years now and made a great life like I promised I would do with you. Now it's all gone. I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this. Not entirely clear what the continuing refers to or what exactly he's blaming the victim for, the charges against him or the murders that he committed. Last night on this program, Holly's mother, the children's grandmother, told us exclusively that the killer had lied to his wife about his past rape conviction. And he did so by hiring an actress to pose as the rape victim and tell his wife that it was all just a misunderstanding.
Okay, Banfield, I can handle that, but I could try to believe that. But what about the chains, the lube, the dildos, the other sex toys? We're just in the beginning of this case. There's more. We haven't got to that yet. There's more, guys. We still at the beginning. We're only on video 2. 3 maybe. Yeah, it makes my heart flutter. This case makes my heart flutter. Yeah, those innocent people must have been terrified. Yes. I don't believe, though, for 1 second, and I'm so sorry, don't cancel me, people, that Holly didn't know. There's no way in hell. You got it all out in the open. You got it all out in the open. If this was hidden in like an attic in a shoebox somewhere, maybe. But we've got computers sitting out. We've got paraphernalia. We've got chains. We've got 2x4s into the wall. We've got, what have we seen? Lube, needles, drug paraphernalia, drugs. We've seen it all. It's very disturbing. Oh, me and Banfield aren't on good terms right now, Caroline. If I had my camera on, I didn't have it on. Yeah, she said something the other day in one of her videos, and I was mad at her about it. I'm still mad at her about it. I mean, I'm still going to show her stuff because, it's Banfield, no, I have to show it. But she really is. She's going overboard with some of it. Oh, I don't even think it was candy. I think he straight just gave it to him if they wanted it. If it comes down to it being like that, like I don't know how you don't see this stuff. I don't know how you don't get grossed out and never want to go back to the house. I don't know what, we're missing something there. Maybe he was giving them drugs, but I don't think it was laced. I think it was like, do you want some? And yeah, sure, I'll try it. And I don't know. Hey, Lady J, I didn't even see you. Oh, I was about to say I didn't even see you come in. I just saw everyone else. I was like, what? Yeah, Rhonda, we're going to get to that video here in a minute, too. Yes. Actually, we'll play this one, and then we'll play the next one.
7 bodies found on the property of a registered sex offender in Oklahoma. As of this afternoon, all of them have been identified. Among them, 2 local teenage girls, 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer, who had been reported missing just yesterday morning. The 39-year-old suspect, also among the dead, had missed a court appearance, and the bodies were discovered as law enforcement executed a search warrant. News Nation's Marky Martin is live in Henrietta, Oklahoma. So, Marky, any idea what happened here?
Hey, Nicole. Yeah, so there was, a big search for those 2 girls that you just mentioned off the top. They were reportedly seen traveling with 39-year-old sex offender Jesse McFadden. And this property right behind me, Nicole, this is actually his land. This is his home where those 7 bodies were found at the very back of this property. Families telling News Nation that these girls were having a sleepover with one of McFadden's stepdaughters. So it sounds like this group, they were all friends, possibly even classmates, had spent the weekend together, and then that turned deadly. Take a look at this chopper video. You can actually get a better sense of what kind of property we're dealing with here, Nicole, and what law enforcement has really had to comb through. A lot of different agencies coming together yesterday to locate those victims and the possible suspect. McFadden was set to appear in court yesterday on child pornography charges. Oklahoma Department of Corrections prison records show that he was convicted of first-degree rape back in 2003, then released in 2020. Meanwhile, now you have all these families, of course, grieving the loss of their daughters, their grandchildren. And through tears last night, Brittany Brewer's mother detailed her devastation while talking with Ashley Banfield.
But she was just a very outgoing girl. Never met a stranger. Full of life. She was actually in a beauty pageant. She was excited about all that because she was winning, and she's like, "Mama, I'm winning. I am really." She was, "I really am beautiful," and I said, "Yeah, you are."
And another Oklahoma woman earlier today identifying 4 of the 7 victims as her daughter and her 3 grandchildren. I got off the phone a little bit earlier with OSBI. They say as far as law enforcement is concerned, the confirmation of identities has to come from the medical examiner, who is still working on that. But McFadden's body is believed to be one of the 7. So, Nicole, yesterday, authorities telling Henrietta and the public that there seems to be no more threat. Nicole.
All right, so Marky, saying this appeared to have been a sleepover, so we're talking about a group of friends here, and as you said, possibly classmates.
Yeah, Brittany Brewer's mother telling Ashley Banfield last night that this group of teens had hung out together before. They apparently were all at the lake this weekend, and Jesse McFadden had offered to take them home. Brittany's mom said, quote, he never took them home. But but also Henrietta Public Schools posting a message to their Facebook account yesterday. I wanted to share that with you here because the verbiage is interesting on this. It reads, "At this time, we are all grieving over the tragedy of the loss of several of our students. Our hearts are hurting, and we have considered what would be best for our students here in the coming days. We will have school, and this will be an extremely difficult day." So really, Nicole, based on that one word, several there, it does sound like there are several teens and students who attend Henrietta Public School who were involved in this yesterday. Nicole.
Yeah, our hearts certainly go out to all of those families. Absolutely tragic. Thank you, Marquis.
Thank
you. Okay. So that was just like a kind of like a recap video too, in a way. But this next video is going to be the father of one of the girls. It's the father, Brittany Brewer, sorry. But she was 16 years old, and his name, I believe, is Nathan Brewer. And he talks to Ashley Banfield about what the murder scene looked like to him. So let me get this pulled up for you guys. Hold on 1 second. This is incredibly sad. And I mean, I don't want to like say that, Holly's mother isn't supposed to not grieve either. Because I mean, I would be grieving if that was my child anyway. But at the same time, it's like, you got to open up your eyes and look around the room. Look around the house. I mean, where was the grandparents? Where were the aunts, the uncles? I'm really confused with this one, you guys. I really am. Oh, welcome to the crew, Regina. Welcome to being a Titan. Welcome. So, yeah, let me get this ready for you. And this guy, genuinely good guy. You can tell. I like Oklahoma people. From, like, other than the sheriff. So far, everybody I've met from Oklahoma has been pretty nice, seems like. Oh my gosh, just today, Elisa? That happened? Oh my Lord, have mercy. I'm praying for her. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Well, it's a great time to join, Regina. I about did a live today. I think I'm going to do a live for members tomorrow. Because I was like, man, I was just sitting outside. And then I did do a TikTok and a short. And I guess I was talking kind of low. Because I got two comments like, can you move closer to the phone? And I'm like, I must have been talking kind of like lower. Because I'm not used to being outside and talking and filming myself. I'm not used to that. So if it's low, so I didn't do live, so I might do a live tomorrow because I think we're going to need it after this live tonight. We're going to need a members only to, make us feel a little better.
Nathan, thank you for being here. And again, I am just so sorry for what you...
Okay, sorry. Like I said, this is going to be Brittany Brewer's father. She was one of the 7 people that were found deceased on Jesse and Holly McFadden's property on May the 1st. Jesse is responsible for shooting and killing all 6 of them and then himself, turning the gun on himself. So if you're just now joining us, that's like the shorthand of it. Trigger warning all the way around. I think I've got Robot in there saying it too, so he should be in there. Nightbot should have the trigger warning available and ready. So, oh, thank you, Rhonda, for becoming a member. Welcome. I love that. Members everywhere. If you'd like to become a member, it is in the channel, or I put it in the chat. We love to have you. Also, if you'd love to just thumbs up the video, that's free to do. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 10,000 Titans. That way we can get our Nancy Grace cardboard cutout. Even if you don't like Nancy Grace, you just still have to appreciate her, Gotta appreciate the woman's art, her craft. So maybe she'll jump in on this and do a, cover this whole case.
And the other family members are all going through at this time. Have the authorities shared any other details of this crime with you all?
No, not at this time. They're still, I know after today they found some more findings, and so they're still processing the scene.
And have they been helpful? Have they kept you in the loop at least? Do you feel that you're being respected in terms of your need for more knowledge of what happened?
For the most part, they have. I know at the beginning, I was getting most of my information through social media.
Well, that just feels heartbreaking. I know that you went to the scene yourself. What did you discover there?
Well, it was actually me and my wife that went out there. My wife had said, my wife calls it more of like a horror scene. I see it something more of out of a Criminal Minds segment.
How so? What do you mean? What did you witness?
Just the way that things were in there. I mean, it's just straight. I mean, just, I don't know, the way the rooms were set up. I mean, everything in there, it just was just horrendous.
Are you referring to the rooms of Jesse McFadden's home on that property? We were under the understanding that
Yes.
the bodies had been found from the sheriffs. They told us that the bodies had been found out on the property.
Right. Well, that's it. On that part, you're right. That we did actually go out there where the bodies were found laying. They told us exactly where to find where to go to find the areas where the bodies were. So we were able to walk right straight to it. And on that part, there was no signs of any blood or nothing like that. But in the house, it's just the way things were laid out and things was just something that was just unbelievable for a parent
Anything
to even
specific?
see, to even go through this.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't really want to go into too much detail, but it's just something that was not right.
Is there anything that you've been told by the authorities not to share with us, or anything that you don't want to share with the public?
No, the authorities didn't really have anything not to share with it, but a lot of things I didn't really wanted to really come out with the public on some of the things because it's just out of respect to my daughter and the other victims.
I understand. You are making plans now for funeral and memorial. Can you tell us what you're doing?
Yes, right now it's planned for the funeral on Wednesday the 10th at 2 o'clock at the high school gym here in Henrietta, and she's going to be taken from there to the cemetery on a horse-drawn carriage.
Nathan, our thoughts are with you, and I am so sorry for what you and the other families have lost. Thank you for sharing this part of the story with us, and the best of luck to you as you go through this process. Thank you for watching.
Oh, horse-drawn carriage. I didn't know that. That's so sad. That is very sad. Yeah, I only stuck with News Nation only because I was going back and forth through a bunch of different channels, like different news things, and I was like, if I do it this way, these were not going to be in order. I was like, these are not going to be in order, so we're just going with News Nation in general. But don't think I'm not still mad at her about the whole saying Brian Kohlberger's door was locked, so I'm still mad. Nuki said it's killing us here in Oklahoma. I had to drive through Yukamogi. I'm not gonna say that right. Yukamogi. I don't know how to say it. Henrietta on my way home from a dog show all Sunday and bawled the whole way all the way through. Oh, you're a pretty girl. I was like, wow, you're so pretty. I mean, after you just say that, so you're like crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. But you are very pretty. But I hope your dog show went okay, though. I'll tell you guys something that'll cheer you up here in a second. Actually, yeah, let me write it down so I don't forget. It'll make you guys smile. I usually try to do stuff at the beginning of the live that makes us smile, but today I came right on and was like, we need to talk. So we'll do it at the end. I know, Legendary, she never thanks me either. I would like to have her collection of beige shirts, though. I'm a cream girl till the day I die. The violence does need to stop, Teresa. It's getting worse. I don't know. I know it, and I know it's not because I'm getting older. I know that's not why. So the next one is going to be where they have the video from inside the house. So trigger warning. This one is going to be what I showed you in the beginning of the live, but it's going to be, not blurred in the pictures with the adult toys. So just to let you know, if you have little ones in the room, tell the little ones to get out of there, unless little ones are dogs, and then cover their eyes because we don't want them to see it either. Aw, breeds bullies. My brother breeds bullies. Oh my Lord, those dogs are huge. They won first place. Look at that. I bet they're beautiful. Oh my I was gonna say oh my brother, but like really, like I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he and my brother is the craziest for doing that, for getting big dogs, because he was in such a small spot. I don't know, but he loves big dogs. Every time they get a small one, it never works out. So yeah, Edward, cover your ears and your eyes and ears. Yeah, make sure they're both covered. He will too. He listens to us. He's good about that. He's a good guy. So this will actually give you a little bit of an aerial view too of the house. Does anybody know? I was wondering this. I haven't heard anything. Were they working? Do you know that, Nuki? Oh, you breed like the small. Yeah. Well, he breeds like the smaller. No, they're big. Yeah, they're the big ones. He used to breed American bulldogs, and then he went to bullies, and I'm like, oh my Lord. Still big, just shorter. But does anyone know if they were working? If they were renting the home. I don't know how old the house is. They were renting it though, and I haven't heard Holly or Jesse having a job, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Lady J, you're exactly right. The day before, she was working at home. Okay. I was just wondering who was, taking care of the bills. I didn't know if, No way. Only $5 million though, that's it. I mean, Caroline, that's all they got him with. I mean, he's not going to jail for that. I mean, I'm not saying nothing about Trump. Don't be coming after me, cancel culture. I'm just saying if you do a crime like the R word, oh wait, it's been so many years. I guess that's why it was a civil case, huh? Okay, well, that's what he was also working. Okay, I wonder what he was doing. Oh yeah, you're right, probably, Teresa. The house is probably 50 years old, so it's an oldie. And I think they were doing work on the property too. I'm not sure now if that was the landlord or if that was them doing the work. Normally, you can't do that without the landlord's consent, but who knows what the landlord knew or what they did or didn't know at this point. But I do think that they should be liable for, they probably shouldn't have let anybody go back into the house. They probably should have called the cops first and been like, are you guys done with the house? I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm glad that the family went in and discovered that all of that stuff was there, because if that wasn't the case and the landlord just went in there and threw everything away, do you think he would be calling the cops back there? Probably not. Probably I'm just going to get rid of all this crap and rent it out again. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Rhonda. I love me some Nancy Grace too. She is one of my faves. When I saw this video the other day, when did this come out? I think this came out a few days ago. I was beyond myself. It was I think it was yesterday or the day before.
They're about to take you on a tour through this home, and it is very, very uncomfortable, but you will learn a lot about this Jesse McFadden and what he may have done before killing those kids and his wife. Take a look.
Phone or phone case with the screen ghost face on the back. Okay.
Oh.
No, I don't care what you know.
Yeah, those are Tiffany skates.
Tiffany's bad print is the cow print.
And the cow slippers over here. Spells. Inner witch. Oh my God.
What?
I have a question. Who took the crime scene tape down? So the police, because I don't know about that part. So I just know that the parents went in. So did the police take the crime scene tape down and they just was like, here's your keys back, landlord? Or because I just heard that they just like the parents just went in because the landlord said, hey, I'm gonna go in there and clean it up. So oh, the landlord kept up with the property. Oh, I was saying, so it looked pretty maintained. That's probably why the outside looked more maintained than the inside. The cops had already released the house. Yeah, that's what I thought, actually. Yeah, they did that. I don't know why I said that like that then. That's just so crazy. It's just so crazy to me, you know? I know, it's just, I knew that. I don't know why I asked a question like that when I knew that. I'm just like, in my brain, I'm going, like, how? Like, did they just want to not put in the work? Like, did the sheriff think that the parents weren't going to find any of this stuff, I guess? Like, why didn't the sheriffs take the shit out of there if they didn't want this stuff found? And they didn't want to be called out for it, you know? Really. They should have did a better job. Crime scene cleanup.
On the floor over there.
This is a huge. See this? Get the lock up right here. Is this not it?
This is the room.
Do you remember when they said that they were making Riley sleep on their bedroom floor? Where was she sleeping at? There is no room on that floor. And then you're at, over here, you know, what's the...
Give me something to grab.
Take a picture. Take pictures. It's on video.
That's them. Hey, that's them.
Okay.
Use this sack. Dump these locks there.
No, those locks.
That's evidence too.
So is those
You
drugs.
just locked us.
That's hers?
Yep. Okay. Hold on.
Call the sheriff.
Yep.
Don't touch them. Don't move them.
Let's back out.
That's good.
Okay. I'm calling.
Smokey.
Are you done looking?
No.
No. I'm not done looking, but that's evidence.
Okay.
He used our daughter's cell phone.
And whatever's behind that.
Yep. Okay.
And they're not concerned about looking anywhere else.
This house needs to be stripped. Oh my God. Okay. Do me a favor.
No, that's what I was telling her.
But we touched everything today because we had permission from the sheriff. But we didn't touch the phones. But I was not in the state when this happened, so. Let's go.
So we're getting pictures of all this, honey. This man was a freaking monster. And his wife was too.
This one's my daughter's. I want to know what else is up here and in here. I think there's more. There's computers.
Somebody's tablets.
No.
Well, did you notice the ring?
The ring?
See that ring? The wedding ring right there.
Oh, I thought you were saying camera. God, that would have been great.
Is this on video?
Yeah, I'm just getting all the stuff up there.
Well, I mean, I didn't say too much of it on there.
Yeah,
but there's a big old machine, too.
But it's a weapon, so
And it's in here with all this sexual paraphernalia.
And then those were right there. They obviously didn't look too hard.
No.
Look, is that another phone or what is that? Look, hey, that one's still on. That computer, whatever that tablet thing is.
No, it's on.
Not only that,
A syringe
And needles.
and needles.
hey,
Oh my.
that's cocaine marks. It's gotta be.
So look.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine being the family walking through that? They were there because the landlord said, if you guys don't come and get this crap, we're going to throw it out. And I guess they just were smart enough to go back. Yeah, they didn't touch anything. They were right. They did a good job. They were, people know, I wonder if everyone in Oklahoma is that sweet. I felt so bad for him. Yeah, it's sad that the family has to document the evidence that they're looking at. I could only imagine. And then this is going to be the guy that found it here. He talked to Chris Cuomo about it. And there's still so much to cover on this too. I'm just trying to get a rough draft kind of going, a timeline. Yeah, they seem very intelligent to not touch anything. You would think that the police would have taken that stuff. I mean, so the OSBI is now handling this case. They came in, they took over. That's like their version, Oklahoma's version of the FBI. So I've heard good things about them. Hopefully they get the job done.
Okay, the Oklahoma Sheriff's Department tasked with investigating last week's slumber party massacre. I actually don't know why we're calling that. I mean, this guy was a predator, and he had access to kids who had kids over, and he wound up killing everybody and himself. The investigating agency has been asked to step aside. Why? Maybe because Justin Webster, father of a 14-year-old victim, Ivy Webster, visited the scene of the crime himself last week after sheriffs said the home was cleared. That's the only reason victims' families or anybody else would be allowed at a crime scene. And he found the father found a mountain of electronic evidence left behind, including the cell phone of his daughter that the cops missed. The scene of the crime, he says, was horrific. Chains, restraints, drugs, weapons, all over the house. Justin also found a list of names and birth dates, potentially pointing to other victims the suspect may have planned to target. Let's bring him in. This is so bizarre, especially with all the pain you're already dealing with. Justin, thank you for joining us. First, let's deal with Ivy's legacy. And you have a change.org petition that you want people to know about, and that matters most. So what is it?
We had her name is Ashley Mann. She's one of the residents here in Henrietta. She's actually a sex, she was an abused person herself also. And so this really meant a lot to her when this happened here in our small little town. And she took it upon herself to start drafting a petition. And I asked her to come over so that way myself and my family could go over the petition and begin to add some other stuff that we thought we would want as a family of victims of a horrendous crime. So we basically just drafted it together, and she posted it on the change.org, and where we've given it to Congressman Fettgetter to read over so he understands what, but basically the whole community here, and hopefully the rest of the state will jump on board. And then after that, we're asking the whole country to jump on board to start enacting some of these changes and to create a new law. And we want to make sure that, I think a big point for us was the name of the law. Most of these laws that are drafted in most states are named after one victim. And,
right.
You know, with all due respect to them, we wanted to come up with a law that protects all the victims. And here in Henrietta, our mascot are the Knights. So we wanted to name the law the Knights Law. And I think that's a great name to protect all our little Knights that are victims and affected by this.
So let's go to the investigation. You went into the home, they said it was cleared, and they literally missed your daughter's cell phone.
Yes, so from my understanding is the Sheriff's Office, Okmulgee Sheriff's Office, was the point agency in the investigation. And they had contacted the OSBI here in Oklahoma to do a partial assistance. And as a partial assistance for the OSBI, they can only assist as far as what the Sheriff's Office wants them to assist in. And so when they were going through the house, the Sheriff's Office, I think there was maybe just a few of them inside the house with OSBI, and they were telling OSBI what they want to take and whatnot. So just to clear up that confusion between the Sheriff's Office and the OSBI did what they could as far as the Sheriff's Office leading them. The Sheriff's Office is the one that let us down not once, not twice, but 3 times now during this entire investigation. And it's become very, very frustrating.
What was your biggest concern after you walked through that house?
The biggest concern for me would be they completely missed the entire story. And basically what we're hearing is that, you know, the Sheriff's Office, they took point out in the property where my daughter's and the other victims' bodies were found. And after they found the bodies and the suspect, Jesse McFadden, they basically called off the rest of the investigation and the search of the house and the rest of the property. And obviously, as you've seen on K4 News, I had Kaylee Olivas with me as a reporter inside the house. She's the one who got most of that footage that I'm hoping the nation has seen by now.
Yeah, no, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're going to show it. And obviously, this. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find.
Okay, let me actually find something really quick. I wanted to show you guys one more. So just give me a fast second. Oopsie. I don't want to miss it, so. Also, if you guys didn't know, they're going to do, I believe, closing arguments Thursday in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. She will not be taking the stand. It was a video I wasn't going to show, but I've changed my mind. Let's see.
I do want to move to.
Okay.
Oklahoma now, where we are learning more disturbing details surrounding a sleepover that turned into a massacre. Drugs and restraints are among the items that were found inside of the home of sex offender Jesse McFadden. Police say he shot and killed his wife, her 3 children, and 2 of their teen friends before killing himself. Now, new video taken from inside of that house of horrors is giving investigators an idea of what McFadden may have done before these killings. We must warn you, this video may be disturbing to watch.
Give me something to grab. Take a picture.
Take pictures.
It's on video.
That's them.
Sorry.
Hey, that's them.
Okay.
Hey, use this stack. Dump these locks there.
No, those locks?
that's evidence too.
So is those
You
drugs.
just want those.
Is that
it.
hers?
Yep. Okay. Hold on.
Call the sheriff.
Yep.
Don't touch them. Don't move them.
Yep.
Let's explain what you're looking at here. The families who lost their daughters in these shootings invited our Oklahoma affiliate station to view the scene with them. Within minutes, one of the girls' cell phones was discovered there, and they also saw sex toys, drugged candy, a bed frame with chain restraints bolted to it. All of these items were found after the police released the crime scene. I do want to bring in former FBI agent and News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer for more on this case. It is so disturbing. Jennifer, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
How unusual is this, Jennifer? Police letting the parents of the victims into this house. They are wading their way through this. They find one of the victims' cell phones. Is it normal for police to release a crime scene this early with so much key evidence left behind?
Natasha, the answer to that is very simple, no. This crime scene was not handled appropriately. Everything was left behind in its place. They needed to be looking for other individuals who could have been victimized at that home. They needed to do a head-to-toe, a top-to-bottom search of everything at that residence to determine exactly how this crime took place. They needed to take samples such as DNA, blood. They also needed to take all that computer evidence, the cell phone evidence. It's really shocking to me. And what really bothered me more than anything was the response from the chief and one of the investigators in this when he was confronted by family and simply said, well, you know, the person's dead. There's nothing more to learn. Well, there is so much more to learn. And it really pointed out the incompetence about how this scene was handled.
You know, judging from this crime scene, do you believe that investigators could have found or may still find that more crimes have occurred in this home, that there are other victims beyond the 6 who perished?
Absolutely. When you look at Jesse McFadden's background and the way he victimized people, even from his prison cell, the fact that he was involved in child pornography. People involved in child pornography often conduct that sort of business with others. So there could be other people in this network. How about all the other possible victims who could have been in there and been victimized? They really need to dig deep at everything in that house, and I hope they do with all this media coverage.
And Jennifer, last question. I mean, what are the lessons learned here? Because I know the last time we spoke about this case, you were saying there are just systematic failures here, that this was a man already in prison for many years for a violent rape, that he actually broke rules while he was in prison. He had a cell phone smuggled in at that time, trying to make contact with women. Is that right? And that he was also actually facing new charges for grooming a minor when this occurred. He was due in court the same day that these bodies were discovered on his property.
Well, and the question begs, why was he ever out on bond? He got a very small bond of only $25,000, which is $2,500, and that let him be free to victimize other people and to commit these horrible murders. So all of these system failures, and then you get to the point of just analyzing this crime scene and processing it, calling in the evidence response team to properly evaluate all that evidence there, and instead you release it to the victim families for them to see that nothing's been done. It's just failure after failure.
And Jennifer, very last question in just about 10 seconds because we are out of time. If this is a systematic failure, will anyone within that system likely ever be held accountable for this?
I would hope so. I think there's a possibility, at least with this chief and his department, on how this was handled, because it is well known now, and something has to change. Everyone needs retrained in that department.
We appreciate your frankness. As always, Jennifer Coffendoffer, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find new.
Man, it just keeps getting worse and worse. But yeah, so now we're kind of caught up, I think, a little bit to what came out last night. It's been a lot. And this won't be our last live over this either, because, you know, I have a feeling they're going to be uncovering some more things. So Banfield is back again. I have to make a song about that now. Okay. And this is some stuff that came out last night.
Now we're learning just so much more may have been happening at that home. A series of crimes against children. In fact, if the evidence that's been collected just in the last 48 hours proves to be accurate. And also we're learning about a real colossal failure of law enforcement, because this was a week ago, and only just over the weekend, almost 7 days after the murders of those 6 people and the suicide of Jesse McFadden, were the state authorities actually there with excavators and drones, and then discovering potentially that the pond, newly created just 2 months ago, might actually yield evidence, possibly more victims, possibly even more bodies, and evidence about the wife who was murdered in this horrible murder-suicide. Well, it's possible now that Holly may have been involved. Evidence collected at the scene much later than police had left it and opened it back up to the public. Evidence now collected shows she may have an integral role, in fact, in the abuse of other children, other victims who may still come to light. We have exclusive videos that were shot by a family member and turned over to us on the Banfield team that we're going to show you tonight, of some of the evidence that was collected and some of the activity on the ranch yesterday and today. The Oklahoma state investigators coming out and looking into containers on the property, RVs on the property. We'll have to apologize for the grainy nature of this video, but this was shot almost hurriedly as the Oklahoma investigators showed up back on the scene with their mobile analysis unit. Medical examiner also appearing on the scene today and spending hours upon hours at that scene. A medical examiner not typically called out to a scene unless there are bodies. Still no announcement from the authorities if, in fact, they have found more bodies. But the drones flew overhead. Who knows if they had heat-seeking? Evidence was processed out of a car. As you can see, the evidence envelopes at this point. Better late than never, I guess. But really, 7, 8 days later, there's the drone. You can just see it flying. They had taken a couple of drones. They brought out all of this heavy equipment, excavators, earth movers, potentially to dig on that property for more bodies. Here are some of the things I can tell you that family members were able to find. And this is after Friday, after they'd been able to actually go through the house the first time. Bloody toddler clothing that was found beneath the floorboards. The blood apparently still wet enough to get on the hands of the person who picked it up from under the floorboards.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there because my ears are right? Because I'm listening to this for the first time with y'all because I didn't want to know. I heard there was big news, but I didn't want to know before you guys did. So I should just say that there was toddler clothes found with blood on them because we don't have a toddler. So whose blood and whose toddler clothing? And hopefully they don't belong to the same person. That's extremely scary. And that was all missed until the OSBI came out there. They were literally just, I mean, the sheriff was making dinner plans. He's like, what time is it? You saw him in the interview in the beginning. Under the floorboards. Yeah, like who stores clothes under there, Jan? Do you put your clothes under the floorboards? Because I don't put mine under there. Why were they under there? Toddler clothing under the floorboards. Could these be maybe not toddler, but maybe more newborn clothing, and they're just calling them toddler? Or are they actually toddler clothing? Maybe one of these girls could have gotten pregnant, and they were maybe, I don't know, stashing clothes away. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. You think if there could have been like a toddler under the floor? Oh gosh, that could have been it. Oh, I don't even know. I wasn't even going there, but yeah, that could be it too. It's his brother's house. Ooh, I didn't hear that. Maybe that's why there was nobody really there to check things out. But people really don't come and check like that either when you rent.
A 4-inch stack of Polaroids. 4-inch stack of Polaroids of children. VHS tape showing possible abuse. A ledger containing the names of...
Okay, so yeah, VHS tapes. Right there, that tells me this shit's been going on for a long, long, long time, y'all. VHS. I think everyone in here knows what a VHS is, but you know. A VHS. When was the last time y'all watched a VHS? You know, really. That means that shit's been going on for a while. This ain't new. This didn't just happen over and the beginning of May. This ain't even over probably the last year. This is probably his little creations from, this is probably all of his work. He probably just brought it home, you know? No safer place to put it, but your home.
Of children and birth dates. A long piece of lumber that had multiple chains and...
I'm going to rewind that back a little bit for you because you guys didn't get to hear about like the ledger part. So I'm just going to rewind it a couple of seconds.
A long piece of lumber, a ledger containing the names of children and birth dates. A long piece of lumber that had multiple chains and padlocks attached to it and spaced along the piece of lumber. Multiple phones, 5 of them, in fact, stacked, apparently all Holly's former phones. This piece of lumber, by the way, just point out the person who's holding it. That's not a police officer. No, this is evidence of potential sexual crimes in the hands of family members because they found it, not the police. The police didn't bag that up as evidence. The family members had it and photographed it. And just beneath, if we can drop our banner on that photograph, just quickly drop the banner, you can count 1, 2, 3 padlocks on those chains on that board. As far as the phones, yes, Holly's former 5 phones, but also 3 other phones. We don't know who owns them, but one additional phone on top of those 3 looked like a child's phone because it had a Panda wallet that was attached to the back, the kind of Panda wallet that a child might actually have on the back of his or her phone, probably her phone. That was also discovered at the scene. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button.
Polaroids, a ledger with names, VHS tapes. I have one VHS tape to my name that I like to watch. I don't ever watch it, but it's of my parents. It's of my 12th Christmas, and it was my favoriteest Christmas of ever. And it's crazy that, you know, I think of my VHS player in a positive light, and he's using his in like the worst negative way. But camcorders were so old school. I mean, I'm picturing the big old hunking one, like the one you put on your shoulder. I'm talking full on blown VHS tapes. I don't even think it was the little one that goes inside the big one. I think it was like man. Whatever happened to leaving children alone? Oh. But I do have a VHS tape if anyone wants to borrow it for their VHS tapes. I have one that I watch. I would think that I don't know. I would think that I could probably get that even put on like a disc, but yes, it is, Regina, and that's about 3 hours from where I live. He was an evil, evil man that should have done all of those years in prison, all 700 and some, I forget, it was 700 some counts, I forget. And he didn't do, but maybe 1 or 2. Maybe they're down in hell together, though. Probably got each other a friend. For $1,000 in 1987. You know what? It was heavy and huge, and it was expensive as hell, wasn't it? Yep, $1,000 in the 80s. Yep. My parents had one too, and it was huge. Let me turn on my camera. I can show you. I mean, it was like, you know, it was like a boombox. You put a boombox up on your shoulder. Like, my dad would go around, and then he had the extension cord plugged into it because the battery pack, like after a while, it went out. So he had one of those orange extension cords. You know, like the big electric cords that are like for like outdoor. He had one of those run into it. So he'd be pissed because, you are only wanting to hold that thing up on your shoulder for like 5 minutes and then you're done. You're just done videotaping, unless it's at waist level. And so I just remember that thing. I just remember that video camera being just heavy and big. Heavy and big. But I can't believe, so he's been doing this for a while. That's what that tells me. This one, I believe this is with the Holly's family, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not sure. So I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm going to play this one for us.
But how is it that you and your family were able to get back into that home and discover yet even more evidence?
Oh, never mind.
On Friday, the landlord, as we were planning the funeral, notified us that we had 3 days to get on the property or everything was going to go in a dumpster this Monday. We stopped the funeral, and myself, Holly's godmother, and her godmother's daughter, just the 3 of us, went to the house. And we found 5 phones. We found a notebook ledger with the names. We just found other things. And that's the other family members come. The police came. Yeah, we found a lot of horrifying things. But
can you explain, Lynn, a little bit more about the ledger? Whose handwriting was it, and what was in the ledger?
Just names and ages, like numbers. I didn't recognize, but I knew it was something important. We did turn it over to the police. The most probably disturbing evidence I found that day is I pulled the dresser out, and behind it was a towel with duct tape all around it, and I pulled it, and it was restraints, Velcro restraints, unlike the other restraints which was laying all through the house. This one was taped at the back of the dresser. I asked the deputy that was on the scene if he wanted it. He said, "This is not an active crime scene. It's solved. If you don't want it, put it in the dumpster." And I begged.
This is what the deputy told to you over the weekend. You found additional restraints that very well could have had DNA of potentially other victims on it.
I begged him, "Please take this." I said, "Please take this. It's not like the chains. They weren't laid out. They were taped behind a dresser." He said, the victims are dead. The perpetrator's dead. If you don't want them, ma'am, put them in the dumpster. I said, "Why would I want them?" What did you end up doing with them? I put them in a garbage bag. On that day, we thought what we would do is hire a private investigator. I hid him in the house and we left. In fact, I had told by the police I had to leave or he was going to arrest me. When I asked for what, he said, we're not leaving. I was like, I have permission to be here, but we left and we returned the next day and nothing could prepare anyone for what we had to find.
Can you tell me a little bit more, Lynn, about what you found under the floorboards?
The first set of clothes wasn't in the floorboards. They were wadded up in the closet. The first pair I pulled out was just some bloody shorts. But the second, and to me, the dry blood was obvious, but it was the second pair of little underwear. And the fluid was, yeah, we put those in garbage bags. We went back to get as much evidence out before my brother and the grandmother got there. When the OSBI got there, I gave my interview and I said, no one should have to see what I say. No one had to collect what I had to. I'm not a crime scene investigator. I'm not a police officer. I should not have had to see those things. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. OSCI was amazing, but that's just, there was just a lot of stuff that in time I really want to sit down and talk to someone about. I need to be sensitive to the victims, my own family members. Some don't even know. I stepped on a hypodermic needle. I got.
Lynn, can I ask you about the nature? I know this is extraordinarily difficult, but it is so critical, this evidence, because there may be other missing children out there.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me the nature of the Polaroids, the 4-inch stack of Polaroids?
There was a lot of pictures, not just Polaroids. I found probably 4 binders. They're about this thick. I started opening them up. The first thing was Jesse McFadden's psychological evaluation. I'm just trying to be so sensitive. I don't even know if I can publicly say some of the things that can be on TV. I don't know how to say it.
Were the pictures of children, and were they sexual in nature?
I don't want to talk about it, okay?
I understand.
I promise.
Were you able to turn those photographs over to the police?
I turned everything I found. I turned over correspondence with other inmates. I turned everything over that I could find.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to.
That's a lot. It was a lot. She didn't want to talk about it. I can understand that. I mean, can you imagine going into, I mean, I don't know. I think that was the aunt. Did she never, I just don't understand. We're missing something here. Like, did no one ever go over there? But then at the same time, they're letting these 2 girls go over to spend the night all the time. So to me, it almost looks like they let people come and hang out. But then when you see the pictures of the home, it's nothing but gore, horror. The things that, nightmares are made of. Do you think that when they stayed over there, those girls stayed over there before, that all those things were out like that? Because to me, that looks like it's a normal thing for them. That doesn't seem like it's like, oh, whoops, forgot to put that away. So then that makes me think, if those girls knew, why would they still go over? Holly's dad's sister. Okay, so that's the aunt. Okay, I gotcha. Regina, thank you. Was the house the dude's official address? I think it was. But I'm not 1,000 on that, but I'm thinking it was. I'm wondering if they just didn't check up on him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I think that you have to usually go in and do like monthly checks, or 6 month, every 6 months, every 3 months, every month or something. Go do maybe a urine test or check. They want to know where you're living. They want to know your exact address. They want to know where you are, because if you're on the registry, you have to be registered at a house that you can officially be registered at. You can't just say, "Oh, I stay here sometimes." Like, no, we need you to have you need to have a house, a home, so that you could, like, they could be registered at. So, sorry guys, I was messing with my face there. But no, so I may have some more information coming to me about this case. That's some insider information. I feel so important. But hopefully I can get them to come on the panel this week and talk, because it's big stuff. It's stuff I'm gonna have to do some research. It's some stuff I don't even know about. So the last little video I wanted to show you was today, or was this yesterday? This was yesterday. The OSBI sends dive teams to Okmulgee County crime scene. So I was going to show you this little video here. And if anyone knows of anything that I left out that was like big, that we didn't cover, let me know, and I'll cover in the next live, or I can maybe even cover it on this one. So no, Regina, they were found outside. They were, so 3 of the, so I believe, what was it? Ivy, Brittany, Riley were all found together in one spot. Tiffany, Michael, Holly, and McFadden, Jesse, were found in another spot. So, it's just, this whole case is baffling. So yeah, I'm really glad I'm getting some like backdoor info, that can help us. So I was thinking that too, crazy grandma, like if he was drugging them when they were there, but do you think, so maybe this was it. Maybe they were being drugged and they weren't even aware. Or they were just having fun. They thought, hey, that person's died. Let's just have a little bit of fun. Like, teenagers are teenagers, Me too, Rich. Yeah, this one gets me too. I'm pissed at this one, and I was sad yesterday when I heard, the press conference and everything, the Tisha Stout trial. And if you guys didn't watch the press conference, I didn't realize it was going on. So it took me forever to find that press conference, but I did a pre-recorded video. And it's extremely sad, but it's extremely sweet. Yeah, like you could do date rape. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then they could wake up the next morning. Maybe they just feel a little tired, groggy. You never know. I know that I was slipped something one time. This was back, I got to think really hard. I don't know. It's probably like 26, 24, 23 or 24, I would say. And my dad raised me to we were from Philadelphia. We moved to a smaller town, and he was still always about like teaching me every single thing and to always be aware of things. But he always was like, Tanya, never leave your drink unattended. Never turn your back to your drink, things of that nature. Like even before I was able to like legally drink, he would instill those little things in my head. Like, you know, he's like, you never know, somebody could slip something in your drink. And so, I was out one night in Columbus, and I just moved there, and I was like out with some friends, and I was with friends of a friend, and I got stupid, and I was sitting beside somebody that I didn't know, and I turned my back for just like a split second. When I turned back, everything seemed cool, and like, I mean, it wasn't even like 30 minutes later. It seemed like I was like, I don't remember the rest of the night. My friend's friend had to like carry me over his shoulder, like 4 city blocks back to the house. I don't remember any of it. I guess I was kicking and screaming most of the time. They're like, we are so glad we didn't get like, you know, arrested. Because they probably thought that they were the ones that were taking me to do something, but they were there to help me. But it's very easy to get that done to you. The only thing you would feel in the morning is maybe a little tired. And you could just be like, oh, I was up last night late because I was like hanging with my friend. You might not even know. Yeah, maybe alcohol. You never know. And it's sad because kids are impressionable. I mean, like I remember being young. I was very impressionable. No, so the two so the oldest daughter of Holly's and the 2 girls that were missing, you know, that didn't belong in the family, were found together. And then the youngest and Holly and Jesse were found together. I'm wondering, and then when he, like, one of the officers says, like, he thinks the bodies were staged. I don't see him piling them on a 4-wheeler and driving them out there. Like, to me, it sounds like they were running. Almost. Crazy grandma said, I'm 62 and I remember the stupid teenage pranks I pulled off. Me too. We did some crazy things. And that's like, oh, you know, you get older. You know, you get older and you like, that's the one thing I wish my mom was around for me to just be like, damn, lady, you did a good job. You know? Like, oh, I mean, she knew what I felt, you know, she knew I felt that, but like, really, like when you get at a certain age, I was 30 when I lost my mom, like right after my 30th birthday, like 10 days later. So I'm 37 now. So there's like a lot more things I want to thank her for. Just, you know, for being funny and stuff too. You were slipped something too, Regina? You had maybe 4 to 6 beers, but I was with my friends. Thank God they called my dad to pick me up. I don't remember anything and woke up hours later. Wow. That was me too. I woke up hours later and I was like, what's going on? You know, because I was at my friend's house and I didn't go home. So that's why I was like, I don't know. How many brothers do you have, Summer? Are you the only girl? You have to be the only girl. There's no way there's another Summer. There's no way there's like a, you know, I mean, a sister Summer. There's no way you have a sister. I don't know why. I could just see you only having brothers. I know. I just don't know if he would be, I mean, he would have time to do that though, to stage him. 2 older brothers or the baby. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I have 1 older brother. And we're like the same. So I'm like, I couldn't picture another girl with another me. Just Avery. She dozed off. What is your picture? I didn't get a really look at her. Oh, it's so pretty. That's pretty. Oh, look at Eddie. He's so handsome. So, oh yeah, so the OSBI, and I don't really like to show you this, but I will. We'll play this really quick. This is what they've been doing, I guess, today. Or I believe this was from today or yesterday.
The attorney for Ivy Webster's family says that the OSBI was out here with dive teams, and they also had boats with sonar devices looking into at least one of the ponds on the property. After nearly a third day here at the scene, they left about 1 o'clock this afternoon. A nearby resident told me someone had been unusually digging and expanding this pond about 6 months ago and worked on it for a month.
Holy camole. Like, if you wanted to dump some people some places, I can name a few. Like, isn't it crazy? I didn't realize it was that big. Yeah, and the 4 others were found in a heavily wooded part of the land. Yeah. This is so insane. I'm going to be thinking about like this all night. I'm just being like, what, why, how, who, where. Well, we know who, but you know.
And worked on it for a month. The county also brought in an excavator, and the medical examiner was on the property as well. This after the OSBI has taken lead of the case. There's been public confusion over who was in charge in the first place. 2 News was told it was the District 25 task force made up of multiple agencies and the DA's office. The Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office held the first press conference Monday. By Wednesday, questions were passed to Okmulgee City Police. By Friday, calls were handled by the district attorney, and by Saturday, the OSBI. So who was leading the case? We went and searched for answers.
So you will not answer any questions about the investigative process?
Okmulgee County Sheriff Eddie Rice told me I was part of causing the confusion, but didn't elaborate why, and still only referred me to the OSBI.
Could you talk to us on the investigative process before it was turned over to OSBI?
The Okmulgee Police Department referred me to the DA's office.
Hi, Chief Prentice.
I left a second message for the district attorney. The OSBI would only say they're investigating.
So there's absolutely no questions that the public can receive about this case.
This one is a head scratcher.
So we talked with Dave Walker, former lead homicide detective for Tulsa Police. Although not involved in this case, from his perspective, it seems lack of clear leadership has been a major problem.
You got to be in charge.
Ooh, I love him. Get him on the case. Call the first 48. Call them. Tulsa, where y'all at? We need you. Because the sheriff sucked. But this is a prime example of an awesome sheriff. Awesome dude.
Everything, or you're not in charge of anything.
Walker says he's used task forces, but was surprised it was used in this case.
Confuses me that there would be a task force working on this, just because it was so rapidly evolving.
Walker says there's no excuse for not investigating, even with a suspect dead. He chalks it up to lack of experience. He says it's not uncommon for investigators to release a crime scene and tape it off again, but it is potentially damaging. Last week, victims' family members went inside the house and uncovered multiple cell phones, computers, and other crucial evidence left behind by investigators. When I was here on Friday, one of the victims' family members told me inside this house they found a ledger with a list of names and ages on it. The last names on the list were the family and 2 teenage girls who were killed here last week. Outside Henrietta, I'm Erin Christie, 2 News, Oklahoma.
I love that. Scorpelina. I don't know why I thought you were like a couple years older than me, but I mean, you don't look like it, honey, or anything like that. No, I just thought that you were, because it seems like everybody in the chat is either my age. Well, no one's really my age. No, I mean, we're like the same. We're close in age. But I mean, you know, people are usually a little bit older than me, so whenever I have the younger group, I'm like, ooh, look at us. He is one of my favorite too on the first 48. I loved all of them. I've been watching that show since it came out in the early 2000s. My mother probably she did want to break the TV a few times. But I learned a lot of stuff. Well, and I went to school for criminal justice as well, but I just like watching crime shows. I that's all I've ever watched. I never got into celebrity gossip until actually recently, and that's only because I'm so true crime all the time that I have to like just watch something different to like, laugh. Just Avery, I am 37. I thought I was 36 the other day. I was like 36, 37, 37. So I'm 37, but, and if you're listening, Ashley, I'm sorry, but my best friend's 6 months older than me in 2 days. So she's 38 now and I'm still 37. It's what I'm a competition kind of gal. I really am. So I'm like, I'm still younger. But yeah, I mean, and I'm still young, but I'm starting to see things that are just different. You're not in the old lady of, you're not the old lady of the group, no. We have women that are in their 70s that are in here. And I'm like, yay, I love it. I love women in their 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 50s, late 50s, I'd say. Because in a way, you guys, I feel like the older women, not 50s, probably 60s or 70s, you guys like more of are like motherly figures to me, in a way. You guys always like watch out for me and stuff. I feel like, well, all of you guys do, but when you if you're a little bit older and you know my story, you're like, oh, you always feel for me, and I love you guys for that. Your husband's 45? Oh, an older man. Vincent's 34. Summer, you're 35, right? When are you going to be 36? I thought you said, or 34. Hey, Miss Renee. Where did I just miss? We were talking about Anne Frank. Did I miss an Anne Frank conversation? Because I'm down for that. Kathy Baker, you're not old. You're only as old as you feel. Actually, don't say that because I really feel old sometimes. Nuki, I knew you were young. I could tell. Yeah. Super pretty. Love your hair. Love dark hair. Huh. But I need to get my collar. I haven't yet. I'm going to. 35 going on 18. I'm switching my age to 35. I think that 35 is pretty good. Like when I turned 36, like when I was 36 and I knew I was going to 37, I was like freaking out pretty bad. I was like, 37 sounds terrible, but Oh, wow, you were raised by a homicide detective. Wow. Well, my dad thought he was a homicide detective, but he wasn't. But he sure thought he was. We would get along great. That's funny. Yeah, my dad, he thought he was retired FBI or something. We are all young. Yeah, but your back did turn 103 a few weeks ago. We never did celebrate your back's birthday. Married 36 years today, Jan. Aw. Well, congratulations. I don't know why people say congratulations. Like it's like an achievement. I mean, I mean, like it is, but it's not because you're with the person you love. But you do have to work for that really hard. So I guess I could see the congratulations, but that's great. Chickasaw. Oh, I'm going to write that down. I used to do rice water in my hair. I'd actually have a video over that. Oh my gosh. I might have to go and look. Oh, is everyone okay? Just Avery? Oh, the Amber Alerts are too loud. They're always too loud. We have a Christian camp called Lutheran Rock checking in tomorrow. Oh. Well, make sure that they rock. Actually, I don't think I did that right. Yeah. You will too, Ashley. Oh gosh, make sure you don't say anything too crazy. Make sure that you have your pamphlets that you can give out about the Word of God. You make sure, because when they hit that bus door, and I'm just kidding y'all, but when they hit that bus door, they're going to be having them pamphlets for you. Here, Miss Ashley. Here, Miss Ashley. What church do you go to, Ashley? You tell them you go to the church down the road and you love it and your family's been going there for years. and here's your pamphlets. Just kidding. I'm so terrible. I hope you guys know my personality. I'm a terrible person. No, we used to get these little care packages when I worked at like restaurants, and they would always have like biblical things in them, and I could never like throw something like that away. Like I'm just one of those people. So I would just have like a stack of like these papers, and I make other people have them. I would just like put them in their purse when they weren't looking and stuff, because I couldn't get rid of them. But I did see, there are people that there's Jehovah's Witnesses that come around on their bikes around here. And I'm like, you don't want to knock on my door because my dogs are nuts. 50 years soon? Oh my gosh. Let's think. Okay, if my mom and dad were still alive. Okay, 6 years. I can't do the math. They would have been together a really long time. When my dad passed in 2008, they were together for 30 years. So, oh my God, that would have been over 50 years. Oh my God. I can't picture them like that. Wow. That's amazing. Well, I hope that your parents have a great anniversary. Where the heck's Fred? Where's it? Maybe he's with his new girlfriend. There you go. Ashley knows. She knows. She's in nature. I stream my service. Too lazy to get up and go to church. I always have my talks with God, and he says, Tanya, please don't come into a church with your mouth. He's like, I blessed you, my child, but I blessed you with the potty mouth too. Wow. You have long hair, Nuki. I need to get my hair needs to get longer. My boyfriend was Korean. Oh, okay. I want to hear this. I love the Asian genes because my boyfriend's Japanese. So like, I like to read about these things. So my boyfriend was Korean, and I went to a camp with her one long weekend. It was a Christian retreat. They wouldn't serve you food if you didn't say a Bible verse. Oh. Well, beat me up, Scotty, because I'd be eating good that weekend because I know a lot of them. Your girl used to get herself ready for church every week when I was a little girl. It was a little bus would come. It was like right up the road, and it kind of pick us all up. And my dad or my mom, it was mostly my dad. I think my mom worked days at the time, and he would do my hair and some messy pigtails, and I would go run around, and you would get like you would just like play, and you would learn the Bible. So yeah, that's what I say. God made me too. I don't know. He made this hot mess. Your parents will be married 40. Wow. Oh, wow. 53 years. It's crazy. Awanas. Wait, that's a... hold on. That's a thing in other places? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Awanas. I'm talking about with the vest, and you got the pins, and you got the colored charms. And you said... Hold on. Where's my car? I still have my car from the drag races that they do. You build the cars like for Awanas. Are you talking about the same Awanas? I went to a Baptist church. I don't know if it's the same, but thank you so much. If it's okay, I'd like to send hugs to you, Titanium. Aw, and to everyone here. Oh, thank you. Yes, of course it's okay. Are you talking about... I'm like having a moment, y'all. Because Southern Baptist. Uh-oh, that's what it is. Are you Southern Baptist, Summer? If you were, well, I don't know if you are, but because she's Southern, in the Southern area too. I don't know if that's the same kind of though. You know what I mean? Like South Carolina, Oklahoma. I don't have my vest anymore, I don't think, but I have my car. I had my vest up until I had few vests. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. This is so awesome. I didn't know that they actually did that, like at other churches. And you did like the baton. You have Camp Awana there too. I've never been to a Camp Awana. Ooh, okay, Ashley, that's pretty cool. Can you do that at 37, or is that for teenagers? Because we need to have a reunion. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know if I know any of the Bible verses still, but I did know a lot. I'm a Baptist, not a chain. See, it's weird because I was raised, my dad was raised Catholic, extreme Catholic. And then when I was younger, I went to a Baptist church. And then when I got older, I went to a Catholic church with a friend of mine, but I was always more Baptist. And it's just, it's a weird thing. I was Irish. When I'm an Irish Catholic. Yeah, that's what it was. But wow, you're from Alabama, R&R? Where the Baptist girl got her first kiss? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Awanas. It was fun. I remember it just like, it got you out of the house and you felt good, you know, and your parents knew where you were. You were at a church, like playing games and learning Bible verses. Like, come on, you know? Yeah, that's where we should meet. We need to meet in Chicago because they have the beach there. Yeah, they would. If I would say I'm anything, I would say I'm Baptist still. I'm not really Catholic. I don't really know. Churches start on fire for me. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Nuki, I'm gonna get a hold of you in the morning. I'm gonna go, well, maybe tonight. I'm gonna go out here. I already know what's gonna happen. Every night I go out here and Mr. Vincent is sleeping like a charm normally. And then I'll sit out there and I'm like, you know, I just get bored and then I'm like, maybe I should get back on live. RRMCG, where are you? Wait, you're on your son's account. Oh, it's Margot. Oh. I'm like, wait a minute. When I heard, like, when I saw that, I was like, wait. That actually sounds like Catholics too. My grandmother, bless that woman, bless her. She had 6 kids, bless her. She'd have a 7 and 7 in one hand, a cross in the other, and be cussing you up and down. God love that woman. Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the live. Oh, thanks, Miss Renee, for coming a member. I think we're going to have to do a members only live tomorrow. That's a question, actually. I think we have a lot of members in right now, don't we? I was going to ask you something. But I can only check over here to see how many. We got a good amount. I mean, like, and I'll put the link in there if anyone does want to become a member of our beautiful channel, because it is a lot of fun. I did post, so don't forget to check the members only tab. I did post the Zoom info if you guys wanted that for the Brian Kohlberger Idaho 4. If you're following the Idaho 4 case out of Moscow, they're going to court. Steve Gonzalez and the Gonzalez family are going to go to court on the May 22nd. So I put the Zoom link and everything up there for you guys. Some other stuff too. Also, I want to do a poll. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this, but Maybe tomorrow we'll just do like a relaxed chill live, but I want to know what your guys' opinions are. I want to know if you guys want to do like, when we do our members only lives, do you want us to do only like talk true crime more, or do you want to do like where we don't talk true crime, we just like let it out, talk about whatever, and hang out? So it's up to you guys. So let me know. Yes, take care. Good night. Thank you for coming into the chat. Uki roots? No, I don't think so. Maybe it isn't. True crime and life, yeah. Both? Okay. I know. I figured we could do both. And like, I know a lot of people have asked like in the chat before, you know, if I ever like told like my car accident story and stuff of that nature. And I could tell that too, or something on one of them, or we can just have fun. Do something fun. Because you know me, I have lots to talk about. So non-judgmental, that was my grandmother. Chef's kiss. Now my mom's mom, love you, Dorothy. That was my grandmother's name was Dorothy, I know. But I love you, Grandma. No, she was one of those, you didn't mess with her. So ADHD needs to be a member. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for just being here and listening to this case, because, you know, the guy that did this, he is dead. But even though we're not going to go to a trial for him, that doesn't mean that laws aren't going to be changed. The word doesn't need to be spread, because with people actually spreading the word, that's how got OSBI out there and got more, you know, the family did, but you know, we got more, people got more eyes on it. So just make sure you like it on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to be alerted to all notifications. I do post daily lives, and then I do some pre-recordeds here and there for you guys as well. So love you guys so much. I will see you guys all in the next live. Bye guys.